Hi, I'm Allie, and I am your DIY coach this week for Flowers for Dreams. I'm excited to make this lush, beautiful fall arrangement with you that is a two-tone palette of yellows and burgundies. I think it's just a lovely collection of fall flowers that you are going to love in your home. So let's check out what we have this week. We have curly willow, which mine is a little tall, a little crazy, but we will figure out how this is going to accent our arrangement just beautifully. We have a common sunflower, but in a burgundy color, a little bit different than your traditional sunflower, but also not as crazy as a teddy bear flower, sunflower. So I think there's still a lot of fun and are just a beautiful focal flower for this arrangement this week. We have orange daisies, orange mini daisies that are just the cutest. They are a lot like a mum. They're actually in the mum family, but I do feel that daisies are the friendliest little flower. Then we have two burgundy snapdragons. We have some upright amaranthus. There's also hanging amaranthus that is quite a bit more drapey than this is, but still has a lot of fun and a lot of character in this burgundy amaranthus. We have solidago and we have smokebush as our foliage, which is a lot of fun. It comes in a variety of tones within the same plant. Some get really dark, really burgundy. Others have lighter tones. This one has a little bit of green in it, along with those burgundy tones. So just a lot of fun and variety in that one plant. This week I'm going to use our mason jar vase just so we can take a look at the stems. The greenery or foliage that we're using is a little more limited in this style of an arrangement, so I really want to be able to show you kind of where those stems are going and create a nice grid for us to add those flowers into for this beautiful lush arrangement with lots of different depth and lots of different textures, which is fun. So let's get into it. Let's start with our smoke bush. Let's clean off some of those lower leaves. And then I'm gonna try to see how many different sections I can get of this smoke bush. Looks like I'll only be able to get two. So I'm going to kind of see how tall I want it to be, make sure that there is enough down here to create two pieces and find a spot to separate it and then pull off those lower leaves just like that. I'm gonna do an angled cut. This one feels a little tall. Now my leaves are in the water. Just pull a couple more off. There you are. Now I think we're gonna go to the daisies. These cuties have such beautiful long stems, and I'm gonna use those for my grid as well. The lower ones tend to not have as much color in other varieties, but in this orange, they have so much orange and yellow, which usually it's just green, which isn't as fun. So I am going to use these little pieces because they do add a pop of color. Now again, just separating those off, cleaning off those lower leaves, and I am just kind of rotating the arrangement and sticking the flowers through so that it's creating a nice grid and just alternating where I'm putting those stems to really give me a nice crisscross in the center. Just add a few more of these. It's just really starting to make a nice shape for us to add these other flowers into, because sunflowers tend to have a thicker, heavier stem, and we really need to have a lot of framework in there to help hold those guys up. So that's all I'm going to get out of that one without getting to the top of the flower. So I'm going to take these ones off. And I just went through and chopped them until I was getting closer to the top. Ooh, don't fall off the table. Flowers going rogue. And again, just adding those different pieces. And if it's too heavy or too many little buds, just feel free to pluck those off. We really just want those extra stems. All right, now that we have a good amount of them, a nice collection of stems for us to start sticking some flowers into. I do really like to start with my line flowers, but in this arrangement, I think instead of having some crazy tall, I think what we'll do is kind of cluster the two snapdragons together on the side and really create a little bit more of a lush arrangement with having layers of flowers closer together. So I am actually just going to clean up the rest of these greens down here. I have a couple little buds that look kind of mushy, so I'm going to pull those off too. It happens with flowers. They are cut and now they look their prime one day and then the next day they're not as fluffy, kind of mushy. All right, let's add these guys in. And again, that's a little bit tall for me, so I think I'm gonna cut that one down. This one might be the good height. Yeah, there it is. Again, weaving my way through those different stems in a different spot than the previous one. Oh, so cute, so fun. Then let's add in our amaranthus. It has these big, beautiful burgundy leaves that mine are kind of holy, so I'm kind of plucking them off. Sometimes the foliage on there looks just beautiful and it accents the flower quite nicely. And you can leave those on if you like them. I think I'm gonna leave that one on because it's just so gorgeous. Now what I think I'm gonna do is just kind of find out which, they're so quirky. They really have a lot of personality. So finding out which ones you want to use where. I really love this one that's kind of hanging over the vase. And so I'm going to put that one over here and just really get her tipping out. I'm gonna see what it looks like with the stem all the way down to the bottom of the vase, but it still feels a little tall. So I think what I'm gonna do is just shorten that up a little bit, work my way through those stems, twist it a little bit if you need to. There, oh my goodness, yes. All right, then my next amaranthus, again, pulling off those leaves that don't look the best. I think what I want to do now is kind of get one of those amaranthus on this side and one on this side, because then I'm gonna have those big sunflowers, and I might save the third amaranthus for the end, but I'm just cutting a lower piece, going through that smoke bush, through those daisy pieces. They just make me giggle. They're just so floppy and fluffy. All right, I'm again gonna just save this one because the sunflowers are so big that I don't want everything to get hidden. So I wanna use some of those pieces after. All right, let's get into those sunflowers. Hopefully, actually, let's do the daisies first. It's a bigger stem. It'll hold up those sunflowers a little bit better. Let's add one. Just gonna add it right in here. this nice spot. Again, tucking it in. Does that feel a little too tall? No, I think that looks nice. All right. And now since that one's a little bit taller, when we flip over this side, maybe getting that other one nice and tucked in here. Might need to take off a few more branches, but we can tuck those in later. And these cute little daisies last forever. Make sure you get those leaves off. I'm holding my flower up to my table and kind of cutting right at the table height, and that's how I know kind of where it's going to sit in the vase, and then I test it out in the vase and see if that's the spot that I like it in or if I want it to be shorter. Again, always go taller because you can't add more stem on. But I'm just going to take this. Try to weave it through those different pieces, add it in there. And it did kind of leave an empty space underneath. So what I'm gonna do with those little extra pieces that I just clipped off is just add them in so they're nice and low, filling in that empty space that's just right above the lip of your vase. And kind of going to that opposite edge really helps those flowers tip out forward. Oh my goodness. I'm just loving those two tones working together. And my solidago right now is a bit more green. You can kind of see that, but it will bloom as it sits in the vase. So we'll see a lot of those yellow tones pop out. Let's go get into these sunflowers. I think such a lovely spot for this to sit in would be right in here. So I'm going to take this first one. Get it through those stems. Really hope that it's sitting in there nicely. See how it's so heavy, it just wants to turn. It's doing that because it's a little tall still. And you can try cutting different angles onto the sunflower. Sometimes what'll help is giving it a nice angled cut, but then also trimming a flat end, just right at the bottom. That gives your nice angle so it can drink up a lot of water, but gives a flat edge so that once it's hitting the vase, it's not constantly spinning. Ooh. Oh, come on. Come on, stand up. Oh my goodness. Okay, how cute is she? All right. So I think just looking at the vase, I think I'm gonna want one on this side, but I do think it would be quite cute to have one tucked low and down by these snapdragons, just to get a little bit more of that yellow in by all that burgundy. Let's see, I think, oh, how cute is this one with the little smushed face? And this one is actually gonna start to open up a lot more once it's drinking up some more water. So what I think I'm gonna do, because this one is kind of leaning, I'm gonna use that one to lean out on the side by my snaps. So weaving that through, let's see how, get in there. Oh, I think it's gonna be way too tall. Oh, she's so tall. All right, let's try that again. Okay. Ooh. Let's see. They're just trying to push that snapdragon out of there. How cute. All right. And then over here on this side, come on, stand up, sunflower, stand up. There she is. Okay. Now on this side, we really need that beautiful focal, and I'm gonna love the accent of burgundy that we're gonna tuck in there too. I think she should be straight front and center. I think because we have a low sunflower here, a higher sunflower here, and aren't these just giving just Van Gogh? I just feel like anyone paints, why don't you just also paint the sunflowers? And I just niffed the edge of this. So some of my petals fell out, which happens. But the sunflower, it's a delicate petal, and they can't necessarily be pulled backwards or else they'll start to fall out. So be careful with that. Don't do as I do, do as I say. But let's set up this sunflower a little bit more towards the middle height in between these two. Let's angle it through. Really get it in there. Oh, and she's lovely, just tilting forward. I think that other amaranthus piece is really going to help us kind of anchor that one down. So let's cut this one a little shorter as well. Get it low. All right, and now we have our solidago. These lower pieces can be used individually, so we can just pull those. Oop, that one might be a little short. And then clean off the green leaves. We don't want any foliage in our water. But what a nice little tuft. I'm gonna clean up those edges, cut it on an angle, and now I actually think I'm gonna put those shorter pieces in second. Let's find out where we want the taller piece to go, huh? Clean up those lower leaves. I think this smokebush piece has gotten tilted more upright, so we'll just want to finagle that more onto an angle going through my base rather than straight up and down. You'll kind of see here, I'll show you. So this is how it was sitting. It's just really straight up and down. If you take it out and put it at more of an angle going through the vase, it really tips it forward, and you get more of the leaves, you get more of the a fuller feel in the vase as well. But now that I did that, I have this little empty space, so that's what I'm going to use this lovely piece of solidago for. Twisting it in, finding a spot. There it goes. This piece of burgundy amaranthus doesn't feel like it's adding too much to this side, but over here I'm feeling like it's a little empty, so I'm just going to take that piece out and add it over here. There, okay. Now let's do the same thing with the other piece of solidago. Pull off those lower stems that are going to be long enough for us to add into the water. Cleaning up those leaves. And then where do we want to put this? I almost feel like it would be kind of fun to put it at the top as well. And then we have these shorter ones to kind of add in low. What do we think? Let's add it in, see. Oh my goodness, how cute. How stinking adorable. Okay, let's add in these lower pieces. Really fill in that vase. Take in any empty spots. Can kind of adjust those sunflowers. I know they like to move, so don't feel bad about pulling those out. With them not being branched, it is easier to get the sunflower out, but if it gets stuck on anything, because I know it has those kind of lobes or edges on the sunflower stalk, just go slow, spin it a little bit, wiggle the stem, and it'll come out. All right, let's add these other cute little solidago pieces, goldenrod, if you will. A little tough. It's just really adding a quite pop of color against those really dark hues of that snapdragon and the hanging amaranthus. All right. Wow, she is lush. She's got lots of layers, lots of texture. I hope you guys had a lot of fun with this because I am as well. So please do take pictures and share on our Instagram at Flowers for Dreams so we can see what you're making as well. And, oh, little sunflower. See, now I'm just moving everything. Don't you worry. You can adjust your arrangement. But don't start trying to pull out too many things because then it gets stuck. All right, let's add in that curly willow, huh? Woo! Oh, so tall. It's falling. It's flipping everywhere. All right, I think I want this piece to be a little lower in here. I think I want to do the same thing with this one. How cute is that? Now, depending on your curly willow piece, you may get one that you can split up and have a few different branches, a few different things happening. Mine is really just these two. I guess I could separate it somewhere in here. That makes it look a little natural. And add this cute little piece down here. Kind of adorable. Well, I hope you had fun with this one. I look forward to seeing you guys again. And woo, drop in stem. All right. Well, thank you so much. Have a great day.